but I'll say this on the drive because I know you might be hearing about them for the first time. So here in a nutshell is what happened. So after COVID, well, maybe I'll tell you my background first. So, and then I'll get into the topic. So I grew up in direct sales. Like maybe it was ordained by the Lord above. I don't know, but I was a teenager, and my pastor was a preacher, was retired as an engineer for 3M and preaching full time, taking no money from our congregation because of Amway. And I'm this teenager. And so he asked me one Sunday after church, he said, we were Ken, and he just said, hey, this week, next weekend, you want to make some money? Sure. He said, we got an event, and you can set up the stage and set up the speaker. So I go to this event to make some hustle money and make some cash as a 16-year-old. This old gentleman steps out of this RV motor coach and invites me up there, him and his wife. His name was Dexter. Dexter Yeager today, direct sales, he's passed away. Probably has the largest legacy-driven network marketing business ever to be created. And so as a teenager, I didn't know I could do this, Mr. Yeager. So I got to go up and I traveled. He took me under his wing and I traveled the country. Any chance I could get setting up speakers and setting up events, and he'd give me some cash, and he would breathe life into me just about what I was going to do when I was traveling the world and this and that. So life goes on, so I watch all this as a kid. And so I go on to be a high school football coach, a high school principal. I'm in my 30s, and we've got 2 kids of our own, and we're educators. So I always say this about educators. I say we proudly tell people we don't break the bank. You know, everybody else I walk to, and we're like, we don't, you know. And so I was doing that. We were raising our kids, and I picked up boys for morning weight workouts in the morning, and their mom was incarcerated, and they were twins. They were 15 years old. So we took them in to live with us, and so it's what we wanted to do, but it came with some struggles financially. We were already on a fixed income. So nutrition was not on my radar, is why I'm saying this. It was money. It took me in my 30s, I was like, all right, I need to make some more money. I was hustling, I was cutting grass, went on a lawn care service. We had about 1,800 students that I was the principal over, and I was the football coach, and I was the athletic director, and I was the softball coach, and so
lots of extra time.
I wasn't looking for something to do, but I needed more money. And so literally I started calling around. And I'm like, I know network marketing works. And there was this seaweed company, so if you really want to get made fun of, you join the seaweed company. And its tagline was, we seaweed differently, legal in all 50 states.
Can we use that now?
Seemed like a great thing for a high school principal.
Yeah.
Marty Wheeler knows well, he knows about it well. And so we joined that company, and I met my next mentor. He was the owner of the company. We ended up, me and a bunch of football coaches and baseball coaches, softball, all kinds of coaches. We ended up growing the largest growing team in the company. It was a new company, we just started up. And everybody made fun of us, and they said, there's no way, this is seaweed for goodness sakes. And we had enough charisma, or maybe All we needed was a bunch of people to tell us we could. And we looked at it and said, we didn't. I want to tell you how bad we were. In our presentation, we would draw a pyramid on the board, and we'd say, "This is a new company. We're going to blow it up. You need to be at the top of this thing. You wait and come in at the bottom. Doesn't matter. We're going to do this." And because we thrived on somebody saying we couldn't.
Yeah.
Or that it didn't work, one of those things, and we were like, oh yeah. So we took it as almost like telling us that our team could win on Friday night, you know. And we ended up building that company. 15 months in, I'm making more money in Lima as a high school principal. I was making as in my full-time job. So in May of that year, I'm like, I think I'm leave and go see if I can go do this full time. And I was scared to death. I was giving up. You know, I was going to run for superintendent. So everybody in the town thought I had lost my mind. But I really got bit by the entrepreneur. Make your own hours, work hard, but you kind of just every day was different. I really enjoyed that, and we just went all in. And so what drove me here was I didn't have enough money coming into our home, and I was open about it. I was just very like, we're on a fixed income, and I needed to make some extra money. But what I saw as we started doing it was that little seaweed product really was good. And I really started seeing people win on the health. I got excited about that. But then to see people win on the financial side, it's fun. I'm like, I tell people, we're probably two of the biggest prayers people pray about. That's health and finances.
That's right.
And I just never looked back. I'm 50 today, so I've been doing this full time, passionate about nutrition, but I'm also passionate about showing up for people. And I think we live in a day and time where no doubt people need another stream of income coming in, which we got to answer. And so life took me on. We grew the company in Japan and some other markets around the world. I went full time. Ended up becoming the vice president of that company. And after 2020, things started to shift in the direct sales world, supply chain issues, outsourcing of raw materials. The company started really hurting financially. We started looking for venture capitalists to bring in cash to keep their company afloat. Rodanic Fields.
Yeah, we know it.
Yeah.
And so an opportunity came up in 2022 for us to bring Partner Co. into existence. We found a group of companies that were struggling financially, but their product lines were solid. Plants, fruits, and vegetables, raw materials all over the world. We could buy those, secure them, and it would give us working relationships with 52 countries, banking relationships, government working relationships, our own channel. And we were able to secure all that debt-free. We paid cash for everything. And so we brought this company together and launched it in February of 2023, and the owners invited me on to be one of the founders in the field of the company. I knew the owners, so that was cool. And it kind of gave me, and we bought my company. So that really got me excited because I know how good Lima is for people. That goes legal in 50 states, you know. It's really good for the body. But it's also something that we ever have you start to come over with you and be able to continue it on. And so that's what we have today. We launched it in February of 2023. A lot of people questioned if we could pull it off. So that was fun to be able to say, watch us again. You know? Because we were a company that they were like, if you're struggling, these reps will never trust you. We were about 90% just consumer driven. And so in 2023, we started traveling the world, China, Europe, and all over the United States, Canada, and just unifying the markets, breathing life into people, sharing vision, just like you would have bought taking over this program. We're going to go win the state championship. Everybody's laughing at us today. And in 2023, we did about 225 million, just consumer driven. And then in 2024, things changed. People started buying into our vision. And then these drops came to be. Now, for anybody that's not on the drops, they were around for 11 years. And so we got an 11-year clinical study to where it's showing men on the drops when they're on the program lose about 2/3 of a pound a day. Women on our program lose about 1/2 a pound a day. And maybe a lot of people go, why did the drops go viral in 2024? We don't really have that answer other than the shots became really big in 2024. Ozempic, young people taking the shots, dealing with pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. Maybe that was one reason. But we believe there was a bigger reason. And now that I get to be around our scientists and our doctors and people that make up our R&D facility, the one thing that is spiked around the world is stress. And so if you look at big pharma or anything, drugs being made today, some of the innovation drugs today is geared around cortisol levels in the body. Cortisol levels are driven by stress. And they're linking it to people on their phone constantly, raising kids. Kids now are in 78 travel ball sports and they're going all the time. There's just a lot of things linked, but it's like the stress level, whether you're in Japan, China, North America, the cortisol levels in people's bodies are through the roof. The number one thing the drops do is they bring the cortisol level down. So here's what we know today. When you bring the cortisol levels down in the body starts producing more testosterone, more estrogen for females. When the body raises cortisol levels, the body stops and reduces the production of testosterone or estrogen. And so we have all these people walking around, because people ask me all the time, I've been to Japan quite a bit lately. They're like, the Japan market is predominantly female. But all these other things they're dealing with, major acne issues in Japan, night sweats, brain fog, low lethargic levels, they're tired, the low libido. So you ask that culture, what's wrong? Stress is through the roof. So their cortisol levels are ramped up. They just eat lean, a lot of fish and things like that, so they do keep their weight down. So the drops are hitting Japan market like crazy. So all of these hormone imbalances are causing all of these things in the body. And so, yeah, around here. And so that's a cool thing. So what's happened is we've got over 100 products in the company. but we can talk about one gateway people through. Was there anybody else? And this is an interesting find. I love doing this. Is there anybody that came to Partner Co. on any other product than the drops? So 100% of all of you came on the drops. So raise your hand if you're taking more than the drops today. That's the power of it.
The list is shorter what we don't take.
When people ask me,
Yeah.
why do you just talk about one product? Because that's all we have to talk about. And then once a person gets gatewayed in, they start getting exposed, I don't know if you see it, to all the other products. Then they start buying products because they want to, not because somebody's selling them.
Right.
Like, oh, I need some collagen. I need some of this. I need some of that. And so, from a business standpoint, it creates a way bigger umbrella for us as we build and continue to expand. So the drops, for somebody not on them, it is going to pull down those cortisol levels. So you take them under your tongue. People always ask, like, why do you got to do them 10 minutes before you eat? That's so activated. You don't have to. But the reason it recommends it is because it primes your gut and your digestion. Because you can take them 10 minutes before you eat. You're just priming your gut so you'll digest what you're about to eat at a better rate. If you don't take them 10 minutes before you eat, it's okay. You can take them. You can take them not eating. So the drops just empty the bottle. So bottle one is the plant-based formula that basically what it's going to do is it's going to pull down those cortisol levels. So anytime I see myself, I spoke Friday night at an FCA because I'm still pretty involved athletically. So I spoke at the FCA thing for the SEC championship, which, by the way, yes, we got toys. Matter of fact,
You're
we didn't
talking
show
to
up.
some Tennessee
Yeah,
fans.
we didn't show up.
We know it. Yeah. Welcome to our world.
We're all kinds of hurt over here. Okay, we're good.
Maybe next year that's our motto.
But so I'm going in, and the whole schedule got shifted. And so I could feel my anxiety. You know, it's kind of like going out about to coach a game. Well, guess what I told you? Dropper number one. So I take dropper number one anytime I want to take dropper number one. So it's really simple. It's kind of like if I'm feeling high, take dropper number one, and guess what it's going to do? It's going to grab those cortisol levels and pull them back down. So it's a balancer of stress if you used it. So 10 minutes before you eat, yeah, that's perfect because it's priming the gut for digestion. If you can't, just use it. Dropper number two is just boosting the metabolism. So I take it multiple times a day. Like anytime I have a deal, or like my drive here, I'm like, so I just take dropper number two. So to me, they're almost like the gas pedal and the brakes.
Yeah.
If I feel it going up, I'll hit the brake, take the dropper number one, bring it down. So when people ask me, am I going to come off the drops? I'm like, well, am I going to stop getting stressed out in life? No. I mean, so I'm just going to use it and let it govern on a day-to-day basis. So I share all that to say our long-range forecast for the need for the drops are just getting pushed out further and further and further. So now our mindset from the business standpoint is how many eyeballs that don't know about the drops, there's 8.2 billion people in the world, can we get to see them? And we leverage social media for that. And so all we did, if somebody doesn't know, is I pretty much explained, because I can go through it, but you heard the story of people. But when we brought the drops to play and we brought the company together, we were like, what if we become this retail company that allows people to gateway food for $29 one time and have a wholesale opportunity? So now a pharmacist that is a mom and pop can sell the drops or any other product because there's a 30% market. And that's become very popular. So the drops, being able to go out and say, hey, you can get them online all day long for $200, but you can get them from me for, what do you say? $160. Everybody's like, well, thank you for that $40 discount. I'll get them from you.
Yeah.
So they're glad to pay the $160 because they know there's $200 if they go online. And they got them right now in their hand. So for somebody that sees that, like, the opportunity is there. And then for that second box, it's like, just get a membership rather than buy a second box for $29.95. Get a membership because then you can buy them for $123 rather than $160. And then that is where we introduce the out that we created. It's like, oh, by the way, since you're a member, let me show you how we're sharing these on social media, because people can come. People don't do our business not because they don't want to make money. It's because they don't want to sell and pound and pressure their people. But if we had a way that their people would come to them, that's where the out came into play. And so it changed the game for us to get the word out. Because we know where everybody's at all day.
Yeah.
They're on their phone.
Yeah.
We had to have an out to be able to bring them over. And so that's what we created with drops. And so now that's where people buy in bulk. You know, they buy.
Yeah. Before you go to that next slide. So in this app right here, so like we give you 4 weeks, 6 weeks actually worth of social media content. And then the next in your phone. So you literally can click a button and tap and touch or tap and send.